What the fuck is up, Juggalos? This is the Murder Mayhem Show. I'm the host, Mitchell, and today's topic, Gathering 2019 Wish List. Yes, I have comprised a list of all sorts of different acts, from artists to comedians to potential hosts to people that I think we could just squeeze in there and find somewhere to put them later. But either way, I have a list here of people that I think would do well at the gathering, and they range from likely no-brainers all the way down to never gonna happen superstars. But you never know, because ICP has had the highest of the high-level celebrities there before, in a world where Ice Cube has performed at the gathering, Busta Rhymes at the gathering, Twista, Exhibit, dudes like that. I don't think anyone on the list is truly out of the question in the sense that anything could happen, but some of these guys are definitely people that would have to be doing it for the experience and not for the money, because they're definitely out of Psychopathic's price range. But let's get through it. I want to say, first and foremost, I would personally like to see Twisted Blaze, Magic Ninja Entertainment represented at the gathering. We know that that's not going to happen, so I'm not going to list them as potential prospects, but for me personally, I would like to see them. I know a lot of people don't want to see those guys there. Frankly, I don't even know how well it would go over at this point. If Twisted were to ever perform at the gathering again, I don't know, it might not be such a great experience for them in terms of people showing them that they don't want them there. Know what I mean? So, with that said, I do want to start with some people that aren't Magic Ninja artists, but have had Magic Ninja releases, so they're probably also just qualified, but I do need to mention some of these dudes up top. Buckshot. Buckshot performed at the March. Buckshot spoke at the March. Buckshot marched. To me, I feel like that should give Buckshot lifetime passes to the gathering anytime that he wants to be there. Not so sure that Psychopathic agrees with that one. Next on the list is Class. Again, just like Buckshot, he was on the Underground Avengers album on Magic Ninja Entertainment. Not sure where that puts him in Psychopathic's eyes, but I've personally seen Class at multiple Psychopathic concerts, just there, watching, enjoying, having a great time. He's still down as fuck. No reason not to have him there, just because he put out an album on Magic Ninja a year ago. Next on the list is Bizarre. Same type of deal. He had the Lars album on Magic Ninja, but he did go out of his way to give the Juggalos props when he was on No Jumper with Adam 22. I think that should give him some good credit as well, but who knows? I just wanted to mention those people right up top, even though they're kind of in the iffy category. But let's get on to some couple of no-brainers here. Ritz. I think Ritz will probably be at the gathering, seeing as that he's about to go out on tour with ICP. Same for the next guy on the list, Mac Lethal. Big favorite. He was at the gathering last year, and he's also about to open for ICP on their Fury tour, so he seems like another easy get. Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll has been at so many gatherings in the past, even if he's not performing. He just shows up and hangs out. So seeing as this is the Super Gathering, it seems like it should be an all-star greatest hits of the past should be included. Same goes for this next guy, Kung Fu Vampire. Definitely a legend in the underground Juggalo community. He should definitely be represented there doing his thing. Next on the list is Mercules. I don't think Mercules has played at the gathering yet. This would be a first time for him, I think. But he did perform at Canadian Juggalo Weekend, and I hear about him all the time on Juggalo Twitter. He has a nice buzz. People like him a lot. I like him a lot. I think he would do really well at the gathering. He could play main stage or late night. Either way. Hobson. Hobson is a man who really reps Juggalos anytime he's asked about it, without even having to have it drug out of him. That's what you can say about Hobson. He will be the first to tell you that Juggalos were the ones that put him on back in the day. So I give him super mad respect, and also a Gathering favorite. It wouldn't quite feel super Gathering without Hobson. Next, Jaron Benton, rapidly rising star in his own right. He is killing it, crushing it. Great artist, great performer. Would love to see Jaron Benton return to the Gathering. Dizzy Wright, killing it, crushing it, rising star, doing great. Get him now while you can still afford him, Psychopathic. He's doing a great job. I'm pretty sure he has performed at the Gathering before. I can't remember if I've seen him there personally, but I have seen him perform in concert before, and he rocks. Dizzy Wright, good man. Next, Cottonmouth Kings. Now, the current iteration of Cottonmouth Kings is just D-Loke and Johnny Richter, so it's pretty much Kingspade, but right now they're branded as Cottonmouth Kings. They're primed up for a comeback with Subnoise, so seeing as that Cottonmouth is one of the old school Juggalo homies, Psychopathic homies, performed at the first Gathering, it would make sense that they should perform at the Super Gathering. Next, Bone Thugs. Yeah, now these dudes, definitely legends, all-time legendary group, but they went on the road with ICP on Wicked Wonka. They've done some other Juggalo tours before, so Bone Thugs definitely a Juggalo favorite, all-time legendary status. That would be quite super of them to be at this Super Gathering. Tech Nine next. Tech Nine, people kind of have mixed emotions on lately, I feel like, but he's, at the end of the day, contributed so much awesomeness to the Juggalo world. It's a Super Gathering. He's one of the all-time great Juggalo artists, and that's what I'm labeling him, Juggalo artist. One of the best to ever do it in the Juggalo scene. I feel like you gotta have Tech and Chris putting it down at the Super Gathering. Next, Cess Crew, killing it, crushing it, doing a great job, getting better and better all the time. Love to see those dudes perform. Ice-T. Ice-T, definitely A-list superstar status, but he is a known friend of the Juggalos. He was featured in the Family Underground DVD. He has performed at gatherings past. There's, of course, the track Dead End, ICP featuring Ice-T. Ice-T knows. Ice-T gets it. Not only that, but I actually tweeted recently that Ice-T should perform at the Gathering, and Ice-T liked the tweet. So that is a good sign. Sounds like he would be open to do it. He has performed at other Juggalo events as well, and some people want to see Ice-T there with body count. That would be alright too, but for someone like me who's never even seen Ice-T proper, I would like to see just Ice-T as Ice-T, but body count would be cool as well. Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf rocks. Love Yellow Wolf. Big fan. Seen him live one time at the Gathering last year, and that was a spectacle because he was encouraging people to throw fireworks on stage, and they did. And it was probably not the smartest idea, but from what I've heard, that's not the first time that Yellow Wolf has done that at the Gathering. So I would say invite Yellow Wolf, but please ask him ahead of time. Stop doing that. As awesome as it looks from the audience perspective, probably not the smartest thing, but he does rock. Love Yellow Wolf. Would like to see him perform again in a more controlled setting. Machine Gun Kelly. Now, again, A-list superstar, but he did perform at the 2015 Gathering, I want to say, and he went on right before ICP, and he crushed it and killed it and did a great performance, so we know he's good for it. His star has kind of risen since then because of the Eminem beef, and he was in that Motley Crue movie. He has been gaining notoriety since then, but if he had a good time last time, I think he'd be willing to do it again. Guar. I've seen Guar one and only one time. That was at the Gathering last year. They crushed it, killed it. Juggalo favorites. They have been there multiple times. Would like to see them make a comeback. DJ Paul, this one seems like a no-brainer. He's about to be on tour with ICP on the Fury Tour, and he is usually representing at the Gathering anyway. There was a Killjoy Club set last year, and that was awesome, as well as a DJ Paul solo set. So he's definitely way down with the Juggalos. That dude really gets it. He seems like a no-brainer. I would say there's almost 100% chance that we'll be seeing him. Here's my twist. If we can get fucking Juicy J in there too, come on. It's been a long time coming, and that would be like huge national news. That would make headline news. DJ Paul, Juicy J reunion performance at the Gathering. But there's no better place to do it, if you ask me. They both are down with the Juggalos, and Juicy is really big time status these days, but I don't think he's above it, and he's been talking lately about wanting to get back together with Paul and them anyway. So if you could get DJ Paul and Crunchy Black and Juicy J all together at the Gathering, I think you could do that. I don't think it's the craziest suggestion in the world. If you put them on right before ICP on the last night, man, that shit would crush. I want to skip around on the list a little more now and move to some of the higher reaches, but still not out of the question names here for the most part. Maybe some. We'll get there. Snoop Dogg. I'm not sure if Snoop Dogg has ever performed at the Gathering. I read once that he had, but I haven't seen any videos of it on YouTube or anything, so I don't know about that for sure, but Snoop Dogg would be awesome. I've never seen Snoop Dogg live, and with having done a song with ICP in the past on the Shaggy Show, obviously, and also fairly recently, within the last few years, Snoop Dogg had an ICP poster featured in one of his videos, so I don't think that's too terribly crazy. Ice Cube, next on the list, A-list superstar, but he has performed there before, so not a crazy get. He was also featured on the Mikey Clark Extra Pop Emporium remix of Chris Benoit, so it's not like he's one of these dudes that is trying to keep his distance. I think he would be there if called upon and the price was right. Busta Rhymes. I think Busta Rhymes has only been there once, but I was there that year, and that was my first Gathering, 2011, so I remember it well. He was amped. He was having a great time out there. He was getting lit. People were loving it. He was having a great time, and I think he even said from the stage that he'd be back anytime, so I don't think he has been back since then, but definitely a favorite, a legend. I think he would go over amazing if he came back. All right, here's a name that seems almost not likely whatsoever, but I got to throw him in there because he's one of my favorite superstars. 50 Cent. I like 50 Cent a lot, but not sure if he would play the Gathering. Probably not. He's probably a little too out of that realm, but I think he would do a great job. I don't know. I like him. Next, Tyler, the Creator. Honestly, I'm not too super sure how he feels about Juggalos these days. I think maybe he has said some things in the past. Not really quite sure, but I like him. He's definitely superstar status, though, so he would have to have some kind of a primo spot and a primo price to get him there. Ludacris. I like Ludacris. He's definitely A-list superstar status, but like I said, ICP has had people as big as that before. I mean, if Ice Cube's done it and Busta Rhymes has done it, then I don't think Ludacris is any bigger than those guys. I would definitely like to see him live one day. I think he would do well at the Gathering. Rob Zombie. Now, this is one that I believe they've asked time and time again and always get shut down, so that seems unlikely. But hey, Super Gathering, what better time to try again? Same for the next couple of names on the list here. Marilyn Manson and Korn. I know a lot of Juggalos that were growing up in my generation around the time that they started getting into ICP. Marilyn Manson and Korn were also pretty big names as well, and still are huge names, definitely. So those are kind of a reach, but might as well try again, I say. No harm in asking. All right, I'm going to skip around a little bit more again, get to some of the comedians. Now, these range from likely to totally unlikely, but let's go down the list in no particular order. Bert Bert Kreischer. Don't fully know how to pronounce the name, but you know who I mean. The Machine. Let's just call him the Machine. Always very entertaining anytime you look him up. Pete Holmes. Pete Holmes may be a little bit too out of the range now, but talk about a man who's open to new experiences. He would probably be one of the guys that would do it only for the experience, not so much for the gig, because he's definitely a top-of-the-line comedian these days, but I like him a lot. Jen Kirkman, she's funny. Look her shit up if you want. Morgan Murphy, that's another name you may not know, but just give them a Googling. Honestly, I think it would be nice to see more female comedians represented at the Gathering. Take that point of view as you will, but that's where I land. Chris D'Elia, hilarious. People like him. Juggalos like him, I think. He's a big rap fan, so actually I don't know how he feels about ICP exactly, but he seems like another dude that might just do it for the experience, and he does that amazing Eminem impression. If you're not familiar with Chris D'Elia, Google Chris D'Elia Eminem, and you'll find a lot of awesome videos. Jim Norton. Jim Norton's been there multiple times. Jim Norton has had ICP on his radio show before, and that's always a good mix. Jim Norton, funny guy. We know that he's open to play the Gathering as he has done it multiple times before. Anthony Jeselnik, probably too A-list superstar. Big fan though. Tom Segura, once again, maybe getting too out there, but I like him a lot. Bill Burr, probably too famous. Might as well ask. Daniel Tosh. Now, I would put him in the probably too big category, but ICP did do that cameo on Tosh.0, so I don't know. Maybe they could parlay that into him performing at the Gathering. Tom Green. Now, I bring up Tom Green because he was at the Tila Tequila Gathering when all that shit happened, and he was there trying to defuse the situation. And I think that kind of gave him a bad impression of the Juggalos. He went on to say some not totally positive things about Juggalos after that. And in his defense, he did see what I would call Juggalos at their worst with all that Tila Tequila stuff. So I kind of understand I'm sympathetic to his position, but I would like to have him come back and have a different impression. And since all that Tila shit happened, he did do an appearance on ICP Theater, so it's not like he's just totally on some fuck them shit. He's at least open to collaborations, so I would like to see him come back. Steve-O, next on the list from Jackass. I think Steve-O would do great. I don't know if they've ever even approached him or had the idea, but I think he would do it, and he does stand-up now, so put him in the comedy tent or as a host, and I think Steve-O would do a great job. Clownvis, another no-brainer, probably at this point. He is getting more and more ingrained in the Juggalo community, and I think he would work as either a comedy tent performance or main stage introducing the acts as a host. And going down the list here, I got some other potential hosts here. I don't know if they're going to do it that way with the hosts and stuff like they've done before, but these are people that I think you just ask them if they'll come, and then you find something to do with them later. I think they would make good hosts if Psychopathic wants to go that route again. Kane Hodder, most known for playing Jason Voorhees in some of the best Friday the 13th movies. Longtime Juggalo, wears his custom machete hatchet man all the time, and he's been doing Astronomicon lately, so We know that he's still down with the Juggalo Connect. I don't think he's ever been to the Gathering, so seems like a missed opportunity because he fucking rocks. Adam Carolla and or Dr. Drew together. Now, if you're from my generation, you remember them from Loveline, Adam and Dr. Drew. They would have ICP on as guests all the time. And it was some of the best shows. They would often say that ICP was their favorite guest to have on the show. So they have that connect. The last time ICP was on Loveline, which was one of the last episodes of Loveline, and Adam had already been off the show for a while at that point, but they asked Dr. Drew if he would come in sometime, and Drew said yes, and they were like, don't say it if you don't mean it, because we will ask you, and he said that he meant it. So who knows? I don't know if they followed up on that ever, but that would be awesome. Adam Carolla and or Dr. Drew. It could be both of them together to really kill it, or just one of them, I think, would be a great host. Or imagine like Adam and Dr. Drew taking questions from the Juggalos. That would rock. I don't know. That might be gilding the lily a little bit, but just having them there would be awesome. Harlan Williams. Put him on as a host, either as himself or in a Officer Harry Cox regalia. That would crush. I don't know if they've ever asked him, or he could do stand-up. So I don't know if there's any kind of communique there whatsoever, but, obviously there's the Big Money Hustlers connection, so if they reached out to him, maybe he would be down to do some shit like that. Adam Devine, Blake Anderson, and Anders Holm, the Workaholics guys. I single them out because of their Gathering episode of Workaholics. And if you ask me, that was the most accurate representation of the Gathering that pop culture has ever done. They locked it down in a lot of ways. They really portrayed it as it really is, for better or worse, I think. So I think they would be good hosts. Again, they're big stars, so they would probably just have to want to do it for the experience, but might as well ask. Jason Mewes, big fucking fan of this guy, huge fan. Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, man, I've been following this dude's career for maybe longer than I've been a fan of ICP, but he was in Big Money Rustlers, obviously. He's also done Astronomicon, so he's probably down to mingle with the Juggalos. Plus, that new Jay and Silent Bob movie is coming out. Hopefully that rocks. Trailer Park Boys. I know that Jump Steady has said they've reached out to them multiple times to try to get them to host a night on the main stage, and almost got them a few times, but couldn't quite lock it down at the last second. So reach out to them. Again, I say Juggalos love Trailer Park Boys. I do. Big fan of those guys. Mick Foley, not sure what capacity you put him in, but if you have him host a night on the stage in the Cactus Sack gear, I think that would go over pretty well. But also you can just have him do anything. He's done comedy in the Comedy Tent before. You could have him show up at JCW, maybe not to wrestle, but to do anything. That would be awesome. Definitely a big Juggalo favorite, Mick Foley. Here's kind of a probably not going to happen name, but I think Howard Stern showing up in some capacity would go over great, but probably wouldn't do it. I'll put him in the probably wouldn't do it category. Let's go back to some artists. I've got more artists here on the list. E40, legend for sure. Not sure if he's ever played. I think that he has, but I haven't seen him, so get him back. Riff Raff. Riff Raff's never performed at the Gathering. I don't know how Juggalos feel about him. I like him. He's kind of a goofy son of a bitch, but he rocks. I like him. Get him in there. Bun B, legend. Would like to see him there. The Gathering always tries to squeeze a couple of legends in there. Run the Jewels. A lot of Juggalos have really been asking for this. I've probably seen their name thrown around more than any other artist whenever Juggalos get to talking about who they want to see. And I know that LP from Run the Jewels gave Juggalos props on Twitter once I've tried to find that tweet since then, and I can't. So you just have to take me at my word on that. But I don't know. I think they would be open to it. And also, there's the whole Killer Mike talking to the Juggalos on his show before. I haven't seen that, but he knows about Juggalo culture. He might be open to it. Lil Debbie, she has performed at the Gathering before, but I recently saw her dancing around on Twitter wearing a Great Malenko shirt, and I thought that was awesome because it's nice when artists represent like on their own social medias. It's one thing like if Little Debbie, for instance, were to go on the Juggalo show in a Great Malenko shirt, I would say, well, she's just wearing the shirt because she's there on their terms. But when a artist is on their own websites and social media pages wearing ICP gear, I always take notice of that. So get her in there. Snow the Product, definitely doing great, killing it, having an awesome career. Would like to see her represented at the Super Gathering. R.A. the Rugged Man, he's been at the Gathering twice now, and both times it kind of felt like we're not seeing R.A. at his full potential. I don't know how he would feel about that statement, but I mean that as a compliment. The first year he performed was the fucking shit show where his show got pulled the plug halfway into it, and that sucked because he was killing it, and he would have done an awesome job if he would have got to finish his set. So he did come back the next year on the main stage, but again, it just like didn't seem all there. And there were technical problems there, and he kept constantly having to shout at his DJ for fucking shut up. So I don't know what happened there, but it was kind of early in the day. It was like one of the first main stage acts of that day. So there wasn't even like a huge crowd there. I don't know. I feel like they need to try him late night again, only this time make sure that he's good to finish his whole set. I would really love to see him come back and really fucking crush it and kill it the way that I know that he can. Bloodhound Gang. I love these dudes. I always have for so long. I've never seen them live. I know they're really big, especially in other countries. They do a lot of European tours and stuff, but I would love to see them perform. I think the Gathering would be a good fitting place for them. Main stage, definitely, but that would rock. I think a lot of Juggalos my age have fond memories of them as well. Cypress Hill and or Prophets of Rage, however they would want to bring that, they would crush. Pretty sure Cypress Hill has played before, so get them back for the Super Gathering. MC Ren of NWA, formerly. Pretty sure this is a name that Psychopathic has said they've tried to get multiple times and almost did, and then for whatever reason fell apart at the last minute. So I say try again. MC Ren rocks. Big Daddy Kane, that's throwback definitely, but you know the Gathering is always a good place to give some props to the legends. Andrew WK. Now Andrew WK had one of the most infamous performances in Gathering history in which he spent too much damn time talking. I saw the shit on YouTube. I love Andrew WK. He's a great artist, and he's done ICP theater, so it's not like he has a bad impression of it. He even said that it was like one of the craziest performances of his life playing at the Gathering. He never had anything negative to say about it, even though people were throwing all kinds of crap at him. He seemed like he was having a great time because he's a fucking weirdo like that. Andrew WK rocks. Love him. Would really like to see him come back and redeem himself because I know he can perform his ass off. I've never seen him live, so I would love to see him come back at the Gathering and crush it. I think enough time has passed that Juggalos would be willing to give him another chance. Stevie Stone, definitely one of the strange music heavy hitters. I think he would be good for main stage or late night. Definitely a good one. Public Enemy, legendary. Another name that Psychopathic has said they've almost locked down. Flavor Flav has been there before as a host, but, you know, you got to get Chuck in there. Come on, Chuck. That shit would kill. Public Enemy, one of ICP's big influences coming up, and that would be a good place to pay back some respect to them. Mad Child, definitely a Juggalo favorite. Would love to see him. Brother Lynch, another Juggalo favorite. Ghetto Boys. Now, Ghetto Boys performing as a unit is a big deal to get Bushwick, Scarface, and Willie D together, but ICP's done it before. So I would like to see them at the Gathering. They've performed there before, but if not together, then Scarface or Willie D solo would also be fucking great. So however they want to break that up, either the three of them together as a group or just Scarface or Willie D would be awesome. And finally, I close on this name, Limp Bizkit. After the infamous Shaggy 2 Dope dropkick attempt, or whatever you want to call it, wrestling move on Fred Durst, I think that would be fun. I think everything is smoothed over between them as far as I know, so I don't know. I think they would do it, and I like Limp Bizkit. I'm fucking 34 years old. Of course I like Limp Bizkit. So I think having them at the Gathering would be a good, final nail in the coffin for that whole dropkick story. Now that shit's all fucking over and done with, it's like, let's move past that and just fucking rock the shit. So that's my list of Gathering hopefuls. That's about 70 names or so, and between the 70 of those names, hopefully Psychopathic can pick out some of them as good ideas. Some, I would say some of those people definitely no chance, but for the most part, I think most of those people are pretty darn gettable and would go over great, and have just never performed there before for whatever reason, but I think that they would and would have a great time. So that's my list. A few other Murder Mayhem show notes that I want to close out on. My new Twitch channel, Who Want a Game, just launched recently at twitch.tv/whowantagame. The name, of course, is derived from the Fearless Fred Fury track Game Over. I intended to make the channel before that album even came out, but I didn't have a name for it. And then when I heard that song, I was like, yes, this is it. It's not necessarily a Juggalo Twitch channel, but, I'm hosting the shit. So if you show up in the Twitch chat and you ask me some Juggalo shit, it's not like I'm not going to talk about it. I love talking Juggalo shit, so please help me grow this. I need Juggalo support on this. The first stream that I did a few nights ago had a total of 10 viewers at the max. There were people kind of trickling in and out throughout the night, but I peaked out at 10, so we can do better. I need your help. Grow the shit, and I don't want to keep using the Murder Mayhem show to promote that, but I do need some support here just to get it going off the ground. So please check that out. You don't need a Twitch account just to watch the show. So even if you can't chat in the chat room, just show up and watch, and we'll have a great time. It's retro games mostly for now. Old school Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega. Got a lot of great plans for that in store, so check that out. If you are a Twitch user, then follow me, twitch.tv/whowantagame. Definitely want to blow that shit up. And one more note for the Murder Mayhem show fans. I think I'm gonna change the way that I put these out. So I hit a nice run over the last 4 or 5 months where I was putting out an episode just about once a week. Before that, I was kind of just waiting until I had something to talk about before I recorded one. So I think I'm going to return to that a little bit more, just wait until I've got some shit that I really want to talk about and then put out a new episode instead of feeling like I have to week after week. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Don't be surprised if you don't see a new episode every single week from here on out. It's just, I have a lot of other things that I want to do and a lot of other things that I need to do in my personal life. And there's just not always time to feel like I have to put out an episode every week. So maybe eventually we'll go back to doing it every week, but seeing as that I don't get paid for this shit, it's like I gotta reprioritize a little bit. So I just wanted to give a heads up on that. I still want to put out an episode probably at least once a month. And for the most part, it probably will still be once a week. But probably once every 2 weeks will be happening from time to time as well. So just wanted to give a heads up on that before signing off. So I think that pretty much does it for this episode. Go to murdermayhemshow.com for all the social media account links, all that good stuff. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I'm pretty much on I'm pretty much on at least one of those at all times, especially Twitter. So if you're a Twitter user, that's definitely the place to follow me for all of my up to the second thoughts on shit. So until next time.